The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. I am your host, Alexander Joyce, and with me, of course, is Alex Clark, your co-host. In this segment, we're talking about goals-based planning.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
I know it is, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, what does it mean, right? It's kind of common sense, but not common practice.
Right.
Goals-based planning. So first of all, it kind of goes back to the conversation of when somebody comes to the visit, if you will, and what we're looking for, right? We talked about, probably shows ago, but we talked about it's not about the money, it's about them, yes. And it's about managing expectations, and it's about understanding what's important to them and what their goals are.
Yeah.
And then once we define what their goals are, we start the planning process of how to get them there.
Yeah.
We called that the ReJoyce roadmap, right? And I think that can kind of give somebody a conceptual understanding of what goals-based planning is. We have to realize the goals. We have to put together a plan, a roadmap to get them there. We talked about the fixed income or the income foundation of someone's life,
yep.
And then what their lifestyle is. And we talked about the plan of how to create a plan to be able to reach those goals along the way. We routinely find that people don't have a plan, right?
They're just blindly going through retirement.
Right, and we've always said that, and I think this is a powerful way to look at this, you can't live off of a pile of money. And I think that's what most people have in retirement, is they have a pile of money. And what we routinely see still today is that there's this 4% withdrawal percentage. You're familiar with that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so do you still think it's a viable strategy or an idea, or how do you feel about that?
You know, it depends upon the pile of money you're working with.
That's true.
You know, if you've got a large sum of money that you're working with, yeah, maybe. But there's been a lot of research done in this area, right? And I've heard anywhere numbers from 3 are safe down to 2.74. So you got to find that blend, right? Obviously, we don't want to tell you, hey, you can't retire and go do some things you want to do,
yeah,
because you can't take that kind of money. You have to be willing to accept those risks.
Yeah.
And you know, knowing those goals is very helpful to say, hey, that 4% rule, yeah, you're fine. Or maybe you should consider going down to that 3%. But again, the transparency, right? Knowing the goals, understanding where they want to go, what's important to them, what they're trying to do with their money in retirement, that makes the world a difference for us as planners.
Doesn't it really?
Yeah.
I mean, it is, we say it all the time, a prosperous relationship starts with managing expectations, because it makes it really hard for us, right? Because if somebody wants to take their family on a Disney cruise, and they seek advice on, because they're not, first of all, they're not really seeking advice, they're making sure that we know that they're going to do it.
Right.
So let's be very straightforward about it. So, but now the pressure lies on the advisor, because when they get back home, guess what the expectation is? We better put that money back.
We better set aside.
Right. We better set aside, or come up with a strategy on making sure that they know right now that that's our job, that's our duty, that's their focus, because they're going to do it again next year.
Right.
Right. So. We have to make certain that when we build that plan, we go ahead and we build those things in. How we do that is by simply being good listeners, because they'll tell us what they want.
100% of the time.
Won't they, Alex?
Yes.
They'll tell us what they want, what their goals are, what their desires are. We just simply have to be good listeners.
Right.
Right? My mentor once said, he said, listen, what did he say? He said, 2 ears, 1 mouth. And I still believe that today. I'm sure you've heard that before too. We've all probably heard that once or twice in our lives. But I think that's the thing. If we're good listeners and we
ask
execute
good questions,
right? And we execute the plan accordingly, that makes the world a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
you know, and going back to the goals, right? Everybody's goals are different. Everybody. We've got people that, like you said, Disney cruises. They want to buy cars, second homes,
sure,
boats. Letting us know up front in that consultation, right, or as our relationship evolves, that's key.
It is.
And I can't stress that enough, is being transparent with one another, whether it's the fees, whether it's the goals, right? The things, the wants, the desires. That is key to a long, prosperous relationship.
Absolutely. It's a two-way street, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, we expect honesty from our clients. We are going to ask questions. We want honesty in return. They expect honesty, transparency, communication from us. So I think the first step is to get the plan defined, get the goals out there. Let us understand what's important to you and get that communication started, right? The best way to do that, Alex, pick up the phone and give us a call. Allow us the opportunity to add value to your life, okay? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Retirement Halftime Show. Maintain your lead in retirement.
I'm Alexander Joyce, President, CEO of ReJoyce Financial. Getting the education you need for a successful retirement is key. That's why I've written my second book, ReJoyce in Your Retirement, Everything You Need to Know to Get Everything You Want. The book covers topics like identifying the income gaps, new ideas for investing, taxes and retirement, your legacy beyond dollars and cents, and much more. I've written this in an easy to understand format so that just about anyone can get the most out of it. To get a copy of ReJoyce in Your Retirement, Everything You Need to Know to Get Everything You Want, you can go to Amazon. But if you're one of the first callers, you can get a complimentary signed copy of this book just by scheduling a no-cost, no-obligation visit. This book is packed with information that will help you get the most out of your retirement years. If you want to know more about successful retirement strategies, then call now. Education is key. And let us help you rejoice in your retirement.